What's up, Journey fam and visitors? Welcome to another Q&A video. I had a young lady reach out to me and ask me a question, and I promised her that I would do an in-depth video on what I thought about it. So here it is. If you have been here before and you're visiting me again, girl, what are you doing? You might as well subscribe. I see you. I see you. But if you haven't and you're a part of my Journey fam, welcome again. I hope you all are doing great and having a beautiful beginning of your summer. And girl, let's go ahead and get into this video. Okay, so let's get to this viewer question. I don't know if she's a follower, so we'll say viewer. But girl, I hope you're a follower. After this, you better be a follower. No, just kidding. But I would love to have you in the Journey fam. So I'm going to be reading from my phone. It's probably going to be two little parts here because she asked two separate things. And so I'll read the first part. And it says, "Hi, Tiffany. I've been researching on Sisterlocks and other different ones because I'd love to start my journey. I was wondering if I was able to ask you a few questions that you might can help me with. I'm very indecisive in looking at different locks, people's different stories, people's pros and cons. I'm not sure when and where I stand. It's hard to choose. One of the questions I have for you is, do you think I really need a Sisterlock consultant? I've spoken to a few, and I've also spoken to a few people who know how to do them, but are not on the registry. And I find they're more in it for the hair journey rather than the consultants who seem more in it for the money. Can I get your input on this?" Okay. So I would say, let's just talk about the registry for a minute. The registry is there to help you be able to identify if somebody has paid money and registered to be on that list, and if they are finished with their courses or if they're still a trainee. Now, I'm not going to say it's not some cold trainees out there, because there are. And I'm not going to tell you that all the people that are registered and finished with their courses are legit and awesome, because they're not. If you watch any of my other videos, you will see I've had lots of trouble with people that are certified. So just because someone is a trainee does not mean that they're not good at what they do. Let's think about any hairstylist. We have a lot of kitchen beauticians who are colder and better than some of the people who've been in the game doing hair for a long time. So just because someone is a trainee does not mean that they're any less or any less qualified or any less good than the people that are on there. So starting with that. So when you're looking, make sure you're looking for somebody that you feel like their hair and what you see looks like what you want, if that makes sense. So I was searching the trainee registry just as much as I was searching the certified ones. As a matter of fact, now when I'm looking at the trainees because number one, they're going to charge less, and two, sometimes they're just as good. The people I've been having trouble with are the people that are on the certified registry. So just know that you don't have to start with that. If you find a trainee, because I think what you're asking me is, Tiffany, I found some trainees. They're not necessarily requiring a consult, which is charging sometimes $50. I mean, they can charge whatever they want for a consult. I think I'm hearing you say, I'm finding people that are not necessarily on the registry or registered, but still know how to do it. And I want to try them, but am I wrong for doing it if I don't get a consult? Is that what you're asking? Because if so, the answer to me is not necessarily like, yes, that's a must. If you go to them, the whole point of a consult is supposed to be, they're supposed to go and test out your curl pattern and see like which way your hair is going to be going. So if you're going to come to them, they already know which way to lock your hair, as well as what, kind of talk to you a little bit about what sizing you want, the parts, all the things. But if you find a trainee that is willing to do that for you for the free 99 or really low, or you look at their photos online, because I'm going to tell you the first thing you need to do is look at people's photos. I don't go see anybody unless I can see their work. So no different than you would do with someone that's certified. You need to ask, do you have an Instagram page? Do you have a Facebook page? So that I can see your work, and go and look and see, do you like what you see? If you like what you see and they're not requiring that you go get a consult, and you can just go in there and talk to them beforehand about what you want and get it, I don't see the harm in that. I really don't. I felt like low key my consult was not worth it. I walked in there. I was in there all of maybe 10 minutes. She did like 3 or 4 locks. I don't even think we did the whole, I think you're supposed to have a certain amount of them. I didn't get a certain amount of them. She did like 2 or 3 locks right in the back of my head and was like, okay, yeah, we can do this. Let's set a date. So I paid $50 for that. So no, I don't think it's absolutely necessary. I think it's something that if you find somebody, you like their vibe, you like their work, you know, you've talked to them, you can set an appointment. I don't feel like it's necessary that you just have to. I think people feel better if they do, because they want to go in and kind of see the environment. They want to see, you know, maybe have them in their head because it's formality. But again, I just don't think it's all the way necessary. I was in there for 10 minutes for $50. And so, yeah, I mean, I've already talked about my journey in some of my other areas, and I didn't necessarily get everything I was supposed to get with that. It didn't go the way that I thought it would go. I mean, it got done, you know, but so yeah, I don't necessarily, and I'm not a trainee, I'm not a consultant, I'm not a nothing girl. I'm just a chick on the internet who started my locks from a perm journey, who wanted to share my journey with other people who might have gone through things like I have, who might be starting from perm. So I am nobody's loctician, okay? I am just giving my strict opinion. So don't y'all come for me in the comments, okay? I'm giving my opinion and what I went through and what I think. And if I had to go back and say, like, was that consult worth it? It was not. It was not foreign to me. I spent $50, and I guess in my head I was like, okay, well, that was the only way she would do your locks for you, is if you did the consult. So I didn't have a choice. So if I didn't have to do it and I could have just went to her, I would. Can you go to a trainee and get just as good of work as you would an actual certified? Yeah, you can. You really can. They're still in school. They're still learning, some of them. But again, think about our kitchen beauticians. They're just as cold as the people that are certified. They just don't have their certification. So if you can find somebody that you feel like you vibe with, that you feel like really cares about the integrity of your hair, that you can look and testify to, you really like how clean and neat their work is, and you feel like that's the person for you and they don't require a consult, then what's the problem? Go for it. Just do your homework. You must do your homework on them. Read reviews if they have them, look at their pictures if they have them, ask them questions if they're willing to. And I will say this as far as like asking questions, because I think that's a question you asked on another part. I will gather all the questions that I have for a person and ask them at one time. And then I will also preface with like, no rush, just when you get a chance. I think people get annoyed if we ask questions like little bit by little bit, because they're busy and they probably have a million emails. So I will sit down and kind of like construct all my questions that I have and ask them at once. They also feel like, well, that's what the consults are for. So you can go in and ask questions as much as you want. So that may be another reason why they may be a little frustrated when asking questions, because they feel like, well, that's why we set consults, so you can come in and ask the questions, and quite frankly, they get paid for answering the questions. So, but if you can find a trainee or somebody who knows how to do it, that's willing to answer your questions, and you feel good with them and you like their work, girl, go for it. You don't have to have the consult. The consult is paying for their time for you to ask all the questions that you want and get them answered. And then sometimes they'll do like the little test locks in your hair to see which direction your hair is going to go. And yeah, that's what that is. So hopefully that answers your question. If not, then hit me in the little, comment section and let me know. But yeah, I feel like you can go with the trainee if it looks and feels good to you. They're just as good. They're still just in the learning phase of getting their certification. So some of them probably already been doing it. They're just trying to get the actual paper behind it. So I don't feel like you necessarily have to have a consult. I just feel like that is formality for some people, some hairstylists. So yeah. The second question that she had was about dye, hair dye. She said, I do have one more question for you. You definitely don't have to answer it. I know this email is kind of lengthy. I was watching your videos about how you dyed your hair and still did your locks. How did that work for you? A lot of consultants have told me no, they will not dye my hair while installing my locks due to various reasons, and I'd have to wait 6 months to a year before I dyed it beforehand. But I've also seen other women's videos who have said they dyed their hair the exact same day and nothing bad happened. Everything came out perfect. On the other hand, I've seen women say the opposite, that they dyed it and it damaged their locks. Can I get your opinion on this maybe? All right, so as far as dye, I always recommend that if you're going to dye your hair, you dye it some months before you go get it done. Like, don't I mean, you think about what dye is. It is breaking down the hair. It does make it more brittle. You know, you have to like really take care of it afterwards. And so, yes, I too have seen the videos where people have dyed it and then like next couple of days gone and got their locks done. I mean, people do all kinds of things, you know, that they're not necessarily supposed to do when they do it. But would I recommend like doing it same day? I wouldn't. Would I recommend doing it and the next day doing it? I wouldn't. I would dye my hair and make sure I'm moisturizing it and hydrating it before I get my locks. So when I got mine done, my hair was already dyed, and I think I had dyed it like 3 months beforehand. But even when I talked about getting it dyed again, she was like, you need to have gotten it dyed if you're going to do it again, at least 2 to 3 months beforehand. Again, you want to just kind of strengthen the hair, because you think about, you're kind of breaking the hair, you know, and they're like putting that tool in and out of your hair. So you don't want to like break down the strength of the hair. So if you're going to dye it, in my opinion, you should do it beforehand. And then I was told that if you're going to dye it after you get your locks, you have to wait till your hair is completely locked. That's what I was told. So, and that could take 6 months for some people, with different, depending on hair textures, a year. Mine was like a year and a half, almost 2 years before completely locked. My stylist would not let me get my hair dyed while I had my locks until it was completely locked. And she was just saying it will make it like have a harder time locking up if you go and dye your hair. And so I did not want to do anything that was going to compromise my investment and the time I had put in, honey. So it just stayed the color that it was, that I had dyed it beforehand, until after I was completely locked. And then I did go back and dye it like a darker brown color. So again, if you're going to dye it and you already know you want it dyed, just go ahead and dye it before you get it done, like a month or two before you get it done, and be hydrating it until then, and then get it locked. That way it's had time to kind of settle in, not so brittle. You've been conditioning it and working on it, and then go and get it locked. And then, you know, if you want to dye it again, wait until you're locked up and then do it. So hope that answers your question. Everybody's different. The consultants do have the right to say what they do, will, and won't do. I think, you know, it's a liability probably, because they don't want you saying like, oh, these locks brought my hair out, when it may have really been the dye and then the tension on top of it that brought your hair out. So I think it's probably a little bit of a liability thing they're looking at. So yeah, go ahead and just dye it beforehand. Again, yes, we see people doing stuff when they're not supposed to do it. I'm not a risk taker. I've never been a risk taker. Never in my life. I don't, unless I'm doing something to have fun, like in the ocean, girl, something like that. But when it comes to my hair, my body, my job, my home, my money, my any of that, I don't take risks. And so I would just say, go ahead and do it beforehand, and don't follow the people that have had like fluke luck and have done it and come out clean, because that may not be you, and then you'll be upset, and then you will have wasted your money, and then it doesn't come out how you want it, or your hair is falling out. Like, you just don't want to take those risks when you're investing this kind of money, because it costs a lot of money to get these different types of locks, especially Sisterlocks and Microlocs, things like that are on the higher end of the price range. So yeah, I hope that answered your question, Beauty. Again, just take your time finding the right person. Make sure that it's a vibe. I understand it's frustrating, but also just consider like it's a business for a lot of people. A lot of people, they're not in it because they really love locks and they really want to like. Some people are, and some people are in it because it's a side hustle that makes them money that they can learn and make quick money with, really good money with. And so a lot of times it is not about caring about your hair, and it is about making money. And some people are quite ridiculous with it, and some people are reasonable, but I think that they might get frustrated just because you're paying for their time when you pay for the consult to come in and ask those questions. And a lot of people just don't want to do it without being paid for it, their time. So I would recommend, if you have some really super important questions, write them down together and ask them at one time, and just try not to make it too lengthy. And that way they can just answer them at one time and that be it. But I hope that answers your question about those different things that you're asking. Thank you for asking them and trusting me to answer them for you, girl. Okay, thank you. And yeah, if anybody else has any questions or anything, hop on over to Instagram and inbox me there, and I will definitely answer you in short and then do a video about it more in depth. So I hope that everybody out there that is aspiring to be locked will go ahead and lock up for 2024, girl or boy, what you waiting on. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join me, because I think by now you might have figured out you like me. And I will see you in the next video. Take care, beauties. Bye.